Hi, I'm Luke Nelson, and I'm one of the cinematographers on Planet Earth 3.
Hang Son Doong in Vietnam. It's thought to be the largest cave on Earth.
I got involved in cinematography, and specifically in Planet Earth 3, in quite a wild way. After a few months living in London, really struggling, I came across an ad on Google that said, work on the next landmark series, Planet Earth 3. I applied, and that led me down a 3-4 year long journey working on it. We're about to go in for the next 18 days, and it's lights on from here on out. The cave sequence took over 2 weeks to shoot, and of that period we were underground for quite a lot of it. It takes 2 days to get there through kind of polished limestone, rocks everywhere, forest, dense jungle, raining, water, rivers up to your waist in water at times. I'm good, I'm okay. It's just really slippery. Camera setup we used for the cave scene was an array of cameras, to be honest. We're going from drones to small DSLRs to kind of big cinema-style cameras. I mean, every camera has its purpose, right? In these situations, we're trying to put cameras down rivers and in the air and film stalagmites and stalactites. So, a lot of the time we can't use the big cameras that we use in TVCs and commercials and stuff. It's a lot of planning and kind of like a lot of logistics. If you're trying to get something that has never before been filmed, then you prioritize actually just filming it in the first place. Achieving the look on the Extremes episode of Planet Earth 3 was not so much the cinematographer's kind of decision. It's mostly left up to the producer, who pushes the look of his episode, and in this case was Theo Webb, who was pushing a style and an aesthetic that I kind of followed and took his lead on. And then we kind of have a conversation about what lenses we can use. He makes a suggestion, I make a suggestion, and I think we took a set of Sigma full frame primes, and we then also used an Arri Allura 15-45 and an Ingenieux Optimo, which is also like a really strange range zoom lens that is kind of big and bulky, but really nice and old school looking, and just feels great and super fast. So having the ability to be able to zoom on a lens without having to change lenses in a place where there's so much debris and dust and kind of stuff around, you don't have your usual like assistants running around after you, wiping and cleaning things. So you've kind of got to be a little bit more flexible with what you use. So using cinema zoom lenses was quite helpful.
And as you turn on each of the lights, another part of this enormous chamber is revealed.
The cave industry has these kind of like industrial scale or style lights that they use that I'm sure you've seen them in movies. They're kind of classic. They've got a handle and they kind of swing them around and they can light up massive swaths of caves. Everything had to be battery powered. So that was obviously quite a challenge, but we used everything from iPhones to, head torches to homemade LED panels. That actually one of the other DOPs and cinematographers, Ryan DeBoot, was instrumental in constructing this 4-panel light array from these kind of cone LED lights that he managed to strap to a drone, and I was able to film him lighting certain elements of the cave. Piloting a drone successfully for natural history documentary filmmaking is just down to kind of slow, considered cinematic movement. The head of the natural history unit, Johnny Keeling, once said that to me. And I just it was one of my first shoots in natural history for one of the big blue chip companies. And I kept that, framed that front and center for myself when I was filming from then on.
After weeks of darkness, 200 meters underground, they see sunlight illuminate the cave floor.
The day when the sun shone through one of the dough lines in the roof, which was a small kind of hole that collapsed in the roof cave system, that was probably one of my best days. I mean, the sun kind of just is reflecting off all this water and rock, and it lights up this place that otherwise wouldn't really be lit. And I think in a period that we were there for over 2 weeks, the sun only broke through the mist once. And exposing for that scene is, you would think it was harder than it is in reality, but the light down into this place with so much water and so many reflective surfaces and so much kind of limestone everywhere, that as soon as that sunbeam comes down and hits the water and hits the cave walls, I mean, it's just like a mega bounce. I mean, everything is so beautifully, softly lit that it's a blessing. You know, nature lights itself. You don't have to do anything really. Every day is unbelievable. You know, you're traversing this cave system to film at various different features and locations every day. So if we weren't so amazed by it, we probably would have shot the sequence in 8 days. But we were just stopping to look at things along the way. And coming out, when I turned my phone on, WhatsApps was ridiculous. I felt like a famous person. You know, I can only imagine what that's like. But it was wild. My phone didn't stop for, you know, half an hour or something. It's an amazing reset to have the chance to kind of switch off in nature for 2 weeks. I think people pay a lot of money to be able to do something like that. Here I am just living that experience because of the career I've chosen. Yeah, it's an honor.